Hi all, welcome back. I am Vishwanath. In previous video, we enabled Eureka Discovery Client feature to both Spring Boot REST API microservices, and we have also created one Eureka Discovery server as seen in the diagram. The tech stack details of each microservices are also represented pictorially on the screen. We have also seen the communication and discovery of two microservices along with the load balancer. And today we shall be introducing one more component called Feign. Instead of REST templates, we can see how the communication can takes place. Let's get started. So let's run our uh, test cases. Yeah, we see that for the user app, all the cases ran successful. Likewise, the address app, all the cases has run successful. There are 5 steps in order to add it. The first step is adding the dependency, where we'll go to the pom.xml, and in the first step we'll be adding openFing as a dependency over there. We can go to effective pom and we can copy one of the dependencies. So I'll be copying this dependency, and I'll just be placing that over here instead of Eureka client starter as this. What I would be saying as it is going to be open Feign, Feing. So, and saving it. And the second step is going to the main class, and just like how we have enabled Eureka client, likewise we will be enabling our Feign, enable Feign client. So this will help us to enable the Feign clients. For Feign clients, we need not have this annotation, but in this tutorial, I will only be covering Feign client for one of the REST calls. So remaining REST calls will still requires the load balancer. So I'm not going to delete it. Uh, so the next step will be creating a interface from the other microcontroller. So we go to the address app, and what we would be doing is we select the controller and we extract the interface by saying that uh, going to refactor and saying as a extract interface, and we can select the methods that we are interested in. Because I'm only interested in add method, I'm only selecting that, and I can give the name of it as uh, address controller interface. You can give some proper name, or you can even say as address Feign address Feign interface. You can extract it. There will be no changes to the address app, and we will be copy pasting this code that was generated into our from address app to user services. So and I will be removing this snippet from here. So address app requires no changes altogether. Uh, so I'll just say as I can just remove this part as well, or I can just say like revert the changes from repository, replace with head, compare with the head just to see like what are the changes. It might be a space. Yeah. So as I mentioned, like it was just a space. So I'll just say like copying this details. So this app will be from my repository. So now going back to the code which is there in the address module, where I'll be picking this address from the DTO that I have. So I'll just be changing my import statement. So address, it is coming from DTO. And in order to provide the capabilities, we have to also add one more annotation on the top of it as a step 4, where we will be saying this as a Feign representation of annotation, which is a Feign client. So we are just saying that it is a Feign client, and we have to provide the name of the client as the app that is going to refer. As we have mentioned the application name on the properties of this particular file as a address app, this is the property that we have to copy and we have to mention it. So ensure that the consistency is maintained, else application will not work. And the other thing that we have to additionally copy is the mapping for the newly created interface, that the mapping, the URI part, where we are going to do. So we have the method name, and we have the HTTP method name as well. And now the last change that we are interested to do is in the user controller, where is that we will be auto wiring the newly created file uh, as a Feign client. You can mention that as a Feign client. And for this Feign client, because we are trying to do the create method instead of this one, how we will be, if I take it this part alone, REST template, it is going to call this exchange method. So this line of code can be, replaced with this set. And the only method that we have is address part, where it is going to take the details as an address. So we will just be copying that as well over here. So for each record, so I can just remove this bit. So after reformatting, you can just see that. So after reformatting, you can see like the line of change is FeignClient.address is the change. So let's see if this is working or not. Let's run our coverages. Run coverages, or we can also run the unit tests. Yeah, we can see that all the tests are running and it is successful. We can also verify that from Swagger. So let me open the browser and let me mention the port name 8090. Yeah, so let's go to Swagger, and because we have created the modifications only for the post method, let's test the post method. Just trying to delete the IDs and also the comma, and making the validation as gmail.com. And I'm going to make 2 address records instead of 1, or maybe I can even make 3. Uh, 1, 2, 3. So I'll just say as this is 3, that is 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and I'll just say as this is 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and I execute it. Because it's secured, I have just mentioned those details. And once it is executed, yeah, we can see like it is 201. Uh, in this way, the communication between the microservices can also takes place using Feign instead of REST clients. Feign underlying it uses the REST clients. I will also cover for Git mapping and path variables using Feign. So in order to do that, let us copy this method along with the details. Let's go to our Feign controller. Let's add it. Now let's go to the address controller and copy this mapping for retrieving by user ID uh, where we are interested in, and then paste it. And you can see like because it's an interface, it doesn't contain any body, and we'll go to our user controller and we'll integrate that with this. So inside the controller, if we go for this retrieving user by ID, let's copy that method and go to the user controller. And over here, what we are trying to do is we are calling like a retrieval by ID via REST. So from Fing, how we can use that is uh, basically the Fin client is what we are interested in as because we have auto void it, and the method is this, and the method is taking this as a parameter as a user ID. So and also it's a path variable. So for this method, we are now removing the reference of this details. So we can. Yeah, and this method will take to string because we have annotated that with a string. And the next one what we have is address get body. So what we will be doing is if dot has body and then it is always better we use this kind of annotation, and what we are saying is address for each body it is going to again call it. So move that method over here and get body for each. So we'll give a proper naming convention whereas an address, and because it is a delete method, I'm just going to delete that, not because the name of the method is delete, because I need to use this uh, you know uh, interface using Fing, and I want to construct that. So I'm just trying to copy this Fing as a client, Fing dot client, and over here again I'm interested in passing like address value, address dot get ID, and I'm converting that to string. So with that formatting shift, you can now see like the first one will be typically checking what are the addresses that I have, and second one will typically be deleting the respective addresses. In that way I have implemented like update I mean, I have updated the create and read operations along with the delete operations, and we no longer require this header parts or application parts. In that way, the code is going to be cleaner. And if we again look into it, what we are trying to say is for each request, it is going to do it. We still have the same thing. So what we can do is instead of having like too many loops, what we can add that statement over here. So we can also add that over here. So first it has to, you know, perform the setting of IDs, and then it has to call the details. So in that way the code is formatted now, and it is much less code and cleaner. In that way we can get rid of REST templates, writing a lot of codes into using like Fin clients, which is a simple and easy code. So let's see by running the coverages if anything is breaking or it is working as desired. So yeah, so we can see that test pack is running and all the cases are working as desired. And also if we look into the coverage, probably it takes a minute or two to like populate the details of coverage. And yeah, as I mentioned, the coverage as well, like because we have only for the controller, it has been dipped to 65. Uh, and I likewise the user application class for which we don't generally write it. So discounting those two, the coverage is 100% maintained for this. So in that way, we have integrated FeignClient, and also we can replace all the calls of REST templates with Feign. Thank you for watching. I'll also commit these changes onto the Git soon. Thank you.